Good day and welcome to this channel. For today's topic, let's dwell on the issues of the audit findings wherein the weakness of our MET system was seen by EMSA, and now it apparently is being said that EMSA is interfering in our education system. Is that true? We'll see about that when we get along. So come on and join me. Let's get started. So now let's go to the rationale and the basis of EMSA coming over to do audits. They are using practically the entire STCW convention and code. That's the reason. Okay? But more specifically, let's go to section A-1/8, National Objectives and Quality Standards. So this is their basis for coming over and doing an audit to see if the STCW system is in place and is working and is monitored and evaluated. So that is one of the main reasons for them to come here and using section A-1/8, okay? National Objectives and Quality Standards. The field of application of the quality standards shall cover the administration of the certification system. That means all certificates, okay? All training courses and programs, examinations and assessment carried out by or under the authority of a party. So EMSA doesn't just come over. They have to ask permission. And normally, the permission is granted as courtesy from one state to another or from one governmental agency to another. So yes, they are invited also because they request and we invite them. Okay? Each party shall ensure an independent evaluation, okay, of knowledge, understanding, skills, competence, acquisition, and assessment activities, and the administration of certification system conducted at intervals of not more than 5 years in order to verify the following, okay? Applicable conditions, provisions of the code are being covered. Okay, the internal management and control and monitoring measures are being complied with. The results of independent evaluations are documented and brought to the attention of those responsible, which is everything that EMSA does during their audit. Now the question might be, why intervals of 5 years? Why every year? That is the prerogative of EMSA. Okay? They do that because they feel that it can be improved. Okay? There will come a time, maybe in the near future, wherein they are satisfied with the outcome of their audit and they would do it on a period basis. They'll come back after 5 years. Okay? That means to say that they find nothing significantly deviated or wrong in the application and compliance to STCW. Is it a pipe dream? No, it is achievable. We just have to get our acts together. And now going locally, does Marina have a quality policy? Yes, they do. Okay? Their quality policy, especially for Marina STCW office, quality policy is written there in their office and in their website. Okay? They basically say that they are committed to ensure the competence of Filipino seafarers are maintained through effective and efficient implementation of the regulations in the chapters of the defined code. Okay? And the status of the Philippines as a major supplier of seafarers, whether officers or support level. Okay. Adherence to the principle of impartiality when carrying out the functions of evaluators, auditors, assessors. Okay. Promotion of continuous improvement. Okay. And that all identified objectives are achieved and reviewed accordingly. Okay. And that, of course, these policies are understood and implemented within the organization of Marina STCW office. On a quick side note, apart from the many sources of discussion now wherein EMSA is interfering, they should not interfere with our educational system. In fact, we can make our own, and the academic freedom again is always being raised, where if it is the result of an audit, so be it, because that is our academic freedom. Oh, academic freedom is very specific on this topic, which I shall discuss in my final take on all of these things that are being thrown now by a lot of quarters that are so afraid that we might not make it. Okay, but do we really have the choice not to do or follow STCW? The answer is yes, we can. If we want, we can make our own. Okay, and it is found in Article 9, the equivalence. So let me post it. It's nothing more than the convention shall not prevent an administration from retaining or adopting other educational and training arrangements. So they pose no objection. Okay, including those involved in seagoing service, shipboard organization, especially adapted to technical developments and to special types of ships and trade. So, Chapter 5, special types of ships. Okay, they pose no objection, provided, here we go, that the level of seagoing service, knowledge, and efficiency as regards navigational and technical handling of ships and cargoes ensures a degree of safety at sea and has a preventive effect with regards to pollution, and at least equivalent to the requirements of the convention. So they agree that you can have your own system, so provided that it follows, okay, at the very least, okay, the requirements of the STCW convention. So why make a new maritime education system wherein the STCW is already there? Okay, you feel that you have a better one? Because if you do have and you apply it, that is all right, so provided you have to report that to the Secretary General, who shall in turn circulate such particulars to all parties. In doing so, you're opening up our system to the scrutiny of more auditors who are going to see if in fact our system is compliant at the very least to STCW or better. Okay? At the rate that we're going now, even our minimum requirements, we are so hard up in complying. So unless we have reached a certain level of maturity, it would be better if we follow the STCW Code and Convention as amended. Okay, so now let's take a review again of the last EMSA audit findings. looking at the screen above, you can see they divided it into 6 key areas, 9 shortcomings, 23 grievances, and 3 specific findings. Each key area has the following: key area 1, 3, key area 3 shortcomings, 6 grievances, and 3 specific findings. So the leveling of non-conformities are named as so. Okay. In key area 2, there's 1 shortcoming, 4 grievances. Key area 3, 1 shortcoming, 3 grievances. Key area 4 has 1 and 2 grievances. Key area 5 has 1 shortcoming and 6 grievances. And key area 6 has 2 shortcomings with 1 grievance each. So if you look closely, they have different categories, but basically all of these are non-conformities. And because it is non-conformity, that means to say there was something that wasn't being done based on the STCW code. Okay, so let's continue. So looking at these shortcomings under the Maritime Administration, which was divided into key areas, this was presented before and it has recurred again. It was, the grievance was insufficient design of MET programs for certification of masters and officers. That means to say 2-2, 2-1. Okay, so a lot of people are saying, why do they have to meddle with this MET? This is the way we teach. Sorry to say that, again, the academic freedom here does not apply to this, because this is an internationally signed agreement that we will follow STCW convention as amended. Therefore, we follow everything. We do not piecemeal. Okay, so their observations were, at the time of the EMSA inspection, the Marina and CHED have not yet completed the design, the programs of studies. So it's kind of slow, because this was noted in the previous audit, and they have not done anything for about a year or more. Okay, therefore the programs of study for BSMT and BS Marine Engineering are not structured in accordance with the written programs and are necessary to achieve the prescribed standards of competence as required in section A 1/6.1.1 of the STCW code, meaning they fell short of the STCW code. Now, you cannot do something that will eliminate any part of the code, because by itself, the STCW convention and code are the minimum standards. You can't get any lower than that. Okay? You can exceed it, why not? But most, if not all, follow the minimum standard. So there you have it. That's just one example of the non-compliance that our administration did not do and was exposed by the EMSA auditor. Okay, so to continue, in short, coming one still, the second grievance is about marine engineering, and they have specific findings where there are missing KUPs in the programs for chief engineer officers and second engineer officers on ships powered by main propulsion machinery of 3,000 kilowatts propulsion power or more. That means to say the knowledge, understanding, and proficiency, the tables, they were not following it, and there are so many items there that were missing. The specifics, well, that is found also in the findings of the EMSA auditor, but it wasn't printed here. I mean, there's no point. It is what it is now. They're missing KUPs. We don't have to enumerate them. They're missing. Okay? And the specific finding also number 2, missing competencies again of programs for master or chief mate of ships 500 gross tons or more. So we were doing a maritime education and training that was incomplete. Okay? And the last specific findings, there were missing education and training requirements for radio operators, which is quite surprising as having radio operators competencies and education is part of the MET. It shouldn't be taken as additional courses. No. It's part and parcel of the MET structure, which will lead to a degree in the Bachelor's of Science. This is not a post degree course, not at all. So there you have some of the more glaring non-conformances, or as they call it, shortcomings, grievances, and specific findings. The talk and discussion now has shifted from the failure of Marina in keeping the STCW in place in the Philippine MET systems to EMSA is interfering in the MET of the Philippines. So there's now a shift of blame. Okay? While this makes for a nice soundbite, this perception of interference is misplaced. There is simply no way to go about our weakness in the MET systems. Finger pointing and blaming others offer a false solution, but the problem still remains. In the last audit, it was presented that there were about 21 findings spread out in the schools, training centers, assessment centers, and Marina. A look at these findings, especially in the schools visited, showed a non-compliance to approved curriculum procedures. Meaning they were not being taught, simply put. Okay? Not sequential subjects in teaching, subject topic selections, monitoring, evaluation, choosing which subjects and topics to teach, okay, and the like. None of this showed any interference by the auditors. They were just professing what they saw during the time of the audit. Others are claiming that they are impinging on the academic freedom of education enjoyed by most schools. Let us qualify first academic freedom. It is basically giving a free hand to a school to teach a course, topic, or subject and follow a pattern of education suited for the subject. In the case of STCW, an internationally accepted norm of minimum standards of MET, of which the Philippines is a signatory, okay, we are bound to implement this in our MET system, meaning it's integrated in our system. Everything in sequence and as per the standard set. And the standard set are the minimum standards. Okay? The academic freedom here is whether we choose to be a diploma, trade school, or a full degree course, a baccalaureate degree, a support level, or an officer level course. Okay? It is up to us. That is the academic freedom that many are espousing, but isn't really that one. Okay? For this, EMSA does not care nor pose any objection for so long as the STCW is taught and toto. So whether we are a trade school, baccalaureate, a rating school, or a full-fledged officer's candidate school, it does not matter to EMSA. What matters to them is if the STCW is being implemented in its wholeness. Okay? And this is where we fail as an administration of STCW. As MET schools and training centers, as assessment centers, we don't get our act together, we shortcut, we omit, we don't monitor and evaluate properly, and we do not act and work in unison. Okay? Act and work in unison to a common goal. That is RC fares being compliant to STCW. So, is there any interference based on what was presented in the findings? Hardly any interference was seen there. And that is my take for this subject. And that is all the time we have for today's video shorts. I hope that it has been informative and educational to everyone. So like before, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And as always, wherever you are, whatever you do, stay safe. Come back home. Bon voyage and goodbye to all.